But first, supermarkets and bakeries would have you believe that with bread it's all about the freshness. But at what cost? Tonight our tests cut through the marketing hype and uncover some shocking truths that will help you decide what to feed your family.
Not all breads are created equal, and you'll be surprised at which breads go mouldy faster.
You can see the mould forming again.
It's absolutely all to do with additives.
I don't want that going into my children's bodies.
Ask yourself what's in it, and if it's not going mouldy, you need to know why.
They always claim it's fresh, but how can it be when it looks like this 10 days after buying it from the store?
Because really, bread shouldn't last that long.
Tonight we're putting bread to the test, from bakeries to supermarkets and the top brands. We want to know what they're putting in it and which is really freshest.
And there are lots of things that companies can put in bread to make it last longer, extend its shelf life.
Our experiment is simple. We've bought 10 different brands. The $1 cheapies from Coles, Woolies and Aldi, a loaf from Baker's Delight, an independent baker, Tip Top and Wonder White, and sourdough from a specialty store. We're sealing a slice from each in an airtight container to see just how long it takes for each one to develop mould. The theory is, the quicker it turns, the fresher it is.
Bread goes mouldy typically when it doesn't have preservatives in it. There's a health issue there.
Tom Godfrey is from Choice. The consumer organisation recently conducted a similar experiment for its latest magazine.
So really, as a consumer, if you want your bread free of preservatives, then you want to see it go mouldy faster than you would otherwise.
So mould's not necessarily a bad thing when it comes to bread?
When it comes to bread, mould is a very good thing.
Each day we check for signs of spoilage, and each day there's no change. By day 5, every brand still looks okay, but a couple are about to turn. We'll find out which ones shortly.
What do you put in your bread?
Only the basic raw ingredients that are added one by one. You've got your flour, your salt, yeast, oil and water.
Baker Simon Baker from Baker's Delight says companies can use a range of additives to make bread last longer, from natural preservatives like vinegar through to artificial ones.
282 is the worst one. We don't have any preservatives, and many of the others do, and it's those sort of things that help to prolong the shelf life.
If you ever look in the ingredients and you see lots of numbers, things like that, that's your artificial preservatives. You want to avoid those preservatives.
Nutritionist Amelia Burton explains that bread can go mouldy for a range of different reasons, not just because of what's in it.
There are 5 main factors. There's the type of bread, there's the acidity level of the bread, there's the moisture content in the bread, there's the preservatives used or not used in the bread, and then there's the way the bread is stored.
It's day 5 of our experiment and still no visible signs of mould, but on day 6 it happens. The Coles home brand bread has a huge spot appearing on the front, and take a look at the back.
Look, that's a good level of mould after 6 days. Really, it's good covering, and that's really what you want to see on bread that's claiming to be fresh.
The next day, the Woolies home brand has developed mould on the side, and the Baker's Delight has a distinctive spot.
It doesn't really surprise me at all. We do hear that sort of feedback from our customers. Because we don't put any additives, there's no vinegars, no preservatives.
It takes Aldi 9 days to develop mould, but by day 10, Tip Top and Wonder White appear as white as ever.
It's concerning for consumers in a way that this bread is going to last for 10 days when it's meant to be fresh without going mouldy.
Simple. I wouldn't buy it. I wouldn't want that anywhere near my children.
Mother of 3 Carly buys Woolworths bread and is happy to know it was one of the first to go mouldy in our test.
Generally, I'm buying bread every second day. But it's nice to know that the children are actually getting, for the 2 slices of bread they have a day, it's actually it's okay for them.
We should point out that there is a possible explanation why the artisan bread didn't develop mould. It's sourdough, which means it has less sugar and a higher acidity level. Multigrain breads will also take longer to go off because the natural oils from the seeds soak into the bread and act as a preservative.
Best type of bread to buy is your multigrain bread. It's much healthier for you, and it also will mould a lot slower. You've got all your tiny little bits and pieces, all the seeds and all the little grains you can see in it. That's what you're looking for when you look for multigrain.
Currently, bread is labelled with a best before tag. Choice wants all bread to be labelled with a baked on date.
By putting the date at which the bread was baked, it gives consumers a much better idea of how old the bread is that they're purchasing.
Our results showed that the dollar supermarket loaves were the standouts. Coles went first on day 6, Woolies and Baker's Delight turned on day 7, Aldi on day 9, while Tip Top, Wonder White and the Artisan bread all appeared mould-free after 10 days.
Bread is good for you and it's packed with fibre, so it's healthy to feed bread to your family. But if possible, try to choose a bread that has natural preservatives in it, not unnatural or artificial preservatives in it.
If you want fresh bread, it's going to go mouldy faster, but if you want bread with longer shelf life, well then you've got to know what's in it to make sure you keep your family healthy.
And if you'd like to look into those results in more detail, we've put them all on our website.